ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम्। श्रीमान् वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किककेसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। So today we are starting, in fact it's a continuation of a study on Paduka Sahasram. 1000 verses written on the Paduka of Sri Ranganatha or Lord Vishnu. Sri Ranganatha from Sri Rangam. Ranganatha, the word means, as we all know, one who is the Lord of Ranga, means this universe. Ranganatha. In Sri Rangam, the temple of Sri Rangam, Sri Ranganatha is reclining posture, Ananta Shayana. So, as the story goes, there was a competition, and overnight, the great scholar and devotee, Vedanta Deshikan, he composed 1000 verses in the praise of not the feet of Lord Ranganatha, but the sandals or the paduka which carry the feet of Lord Ranganatha. Because according to Vedanta Deshika, he considered himself unfit to talk about the feet of Lord Vishnu or Lord Ranganatha. Till now, the earlier talks are available on YouTube. So till now, 2 paddhatis or 2 chapters in the wonderful poetical work of Vedanta Deshika called Paduka Sahasram. The chapters are called paddhatis because they are the sounds of the sandal or the padukas of Lord Ranganatha. So paddhati, so the sound which is made by the sandal. There are 32 chapters in this work, and we till now the first 2 chapters have been already covered. Now we will start the 3rd chapter. It's called the Prabhava Paddhati. Prabhava means influence or the fame. So here Vedanta Deshika, he wants to show or he wants to establish the praise or the fame or the glory of the Padukas. What is their influence? What is their glory? He wants to establish, and that is why he gives a lot of space, much space to this Paddhati or chapter. There are 70 verses in this chapter. And Vedanta Deshika has been quite poetic, and he has been explaining the glory of the Padukas in detail. And the different meters of Sanskrit shloka are being used here. So first we will see a shloka, we will read the shloka, then we will see the Anvaya, the prose order, the order in which the prose is written. The first shloka of Prabhava Paddhati is this. Vande tadranganathasya manyam padukayor yugam Unnatanam avanatihi natanam yatra chonnatihi. It's a simple shloka, but profound in meaning and also poetical. The Anvaya or the prose order is like this. Manyam Ranganathasya Padukayoho Tad Yugam Vande Yatra Unnatanam Avanatihi Natanam Unnatihi Cha. So here, Vedanta Deshika, he is saying that he prostrates before the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha. Manyam. Manyam means that which are deserving of praise, honorable. Manyam, honorable. Deserving of sammana, deserving of honor, deserving of mana, deserving of honor, deserving of praise. Manyam Ranganathasya, of Ranganatha, of the Lord Ranganatha. So, honorable Ranganathasya Padukayoho Tad Yugam. So, those Yugam or twin, a couple, twin Padukas or slippers of Lord Ranganatha. So those two slippers of Lord Ranganatha, the twin Padukas of Lord Ranganatha, which deserve praise or which deserve honor, I Vande, I salute them, I prostrate before them, I bow down to them. Paduka. What is their characteristic? Yatra, that is in the case of Padukas. The Paduka, they have the power to make the impossible possible. Padukas can do something which is impossible. They can make it possible. How do we know that? Because that is what they are doing. They are carrying the feet of Lord Ranganatha. They are carrying the feet of the Lord of the universe. How can somebody carry the feet of the Lord of the universe? That is what the Padukas are doing. And where do they get this power from? They get this power from the feet of the Lord of the universe. And so, the Padukas can do that which is completely impossible. And so, Yatra means the Padukas. What is their feature? What is their greatness? Their greatness is Unnatanam Avanatihi. If somebody is standing rigid and erect, straight, if somebody is standing straight, rigid, does not want to bow down, does not want to come down, is standing tall, does not want to bend, does not want to be humble, that person, Avanatihi, will be humbled, will be brought down. So here what is referred to is, as we have already understood, ego. What is referred to is ego. So if you cannot bow down, then you will be made to bow down. You will be bent. But at the same time, Natanam cha unnatihi cha. Natanam unnatihi cha. If you bow down, then you will be raised. So if you don't know how to bow down, or you don't want to bow down, then you will be lowered. But at the same time, if you bow down, you will be raised. That means if a person does not bow down to the Padukas, If a person does not bow down to the slippers which carry the feet of Lord Ranganatha, they will be made to bow down. How? They will have to get lowered in their status, whatever status, material or spiritual. If a person does not have humility, then that person will have to come down both materially and spiritually. So when we say material, it includes intellectual wealth. It includes knowledge. So a person who is very arrogant, who is not humble, that person will have to become humble. How? That person will lose all the knowledge that person has, then would become humble. So that person has to come down. So the greatness or the manyata of the Padukas lies in this, that only if we be humble and if we are bowing down to the Paduka, can we understand its greatness. Only then can we understand its greatness. So this is what is told here. And then also there are examples. For example, Rama. Rama, how did he see? Ravana. Ravana did not bend or bow down to Rama. Or Ravana did not bend or bow down to the Padukas of Rama, at the feet of or at the Padukas of Rama. So what happened? He was made to come down. He lost everything. He lost everything. So he had to bow down. At the same time, Bharata, he bowed down before the Padukas of Rama. And Rama, or the Lord, the moment we talk about Rama, we also talk about Lakshmana, Bharata, etc. Similarly, Vibhishana also knew the greatness of the Padukas of Sri Rama. That means Vibhishana also bowed down to Sri Ramachandra. And so he was also given great honor by the Lord himself. So if somebody bows down to the Lord, or here if somebody bows down to the Paduka, to the slippers of the Lord, that person will be raised. And if somebody does not bow down to the slippers or Padukas of the Lord, then that person will be brought down. So what does it mean? It is, as we earlier said, it is about the ego. If you have ego, you will fall. And if you surrender yourself to the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha, then you will have freedom. You will be liberated. So here, in this third chapter, Prabhava Paddhati of Paduka Sahasram, just imagine overnight Vedanta Deshika wrote 1,000 verses in praise of Padukas, the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha. So in this third chapter, in the very second verse, Vedanta Deshikan is talking about the impossibility of glorifying or praising the Padukas. How it is not possible? He says, Nishesham ambaratalam yadi patrika syat, saptarnavi yadi sametya mashim bhavitri, vakta sahasra vadanaha purushaha swayam chet, likhyeta rangapati padukayoho prabhavaha. So this is what he says. The Anvaya, the prose order is Nishesham ambaratalam patrika syat, saptarnavi sametya mashi yadi bhavitri, sahasra vadanaha purushaha swayam vakta chet, Rangapati Padukayoho Prabhavah Likhyeta. What does it mean? Nishesham Ambaratalam. Nishesham Ambaratalam. If the entire Ambara means, Nishesham means entire, Ambara means space. If the entire space were to become Talam, were to become the surface on which something can be written, or if the entire space were to become paper. So, Nishesham Ambara Talam, the entire area of space, Yadi, Patrika Yadi Syat, if that becomes paper, Patrika means paper, Yadi, if Syat became. So the entire space, if it were to become, if the entire space were to become paper, it is impossible. Entire space cannot become paper. That is, entire space has no finite boundaries, so it cannot become paper. But if it became paper, then in some versions it is Nishesham Ambaratalam Khalu Patrika Syat. So there is a what is called as Patha Veda. There are in some versions of this Paduka Sahasram, it is Khalu instead of Yadi. But the meaning is same. If the entire space became paper, then he says Saptarnavi. Sapta means 7. Arnavi means seas. 7 oceans or 7 seas. If all the 7 seas, they Mashi Sametya Mashi Yadi Bhavitri, if they become Mashi, Mashi means ink. All the 7 seas, if they come together and they become ink, then what will happen? And also, if Sahasra Vadanaha, a person with 1000 faces, Sahasra 1000 faces, Vadanaha, Purushaha, person, Swayam, oneself, Vakta Chet, if that person is the person who dictates, Vakta here means dictates, one who dictates for something to be written. If a person with 1000 faces, that is Lord himself, Lord Ranganatha himself. So if Lord Ranganatha himself, Lord Vishnu himself dictates the glory, then Rangapati Padukayoho Prabhavaha Likhyeta. Then maybe we can write the Prabhava, the glory or the fame or the praise of Rangapati Padukayoho, of Rangapati, the Lord. Bhakti means here Lord, the Lord of Ranga, the universe. So Likhyeta, one could have written. If the glory of the Padukas, they are so great, Rangapati Padukayoho Prabhavaha, the glory of the Padukas, they are so great that if it can be written, only if that which is impossible can become possible. What is that? That the entire space becomes paper, that 7 seas become ink, and God himself, Lord Ranganatha himself dictates Sahasra Vadanaha Vakta Syat. So he dictates, if he Vakta Chet, he dictates himself, then one can write the glory of Paduka of Lord. Why would Lord dictate the glory of Padukas? Because who else can know about the Padukas than Lord Ranganatha? Who wears them? And who carries them from one place to the other? So and who gives the opportunity to the Paduka to carry or protect his feet. So only Lord Ranganatha will know the greatness of Paduka. And so he has to dictate its glory. Now, here we find a comparison with another famous shloka from the Shiva Mahimna Stotram, where we know that it is a prayer for Shiva. So there the same sentiment is used to say that one cannot write the glories of Shiva. Asita giri samam syat kajjalam sindhu patre surataruvara shakha lekhani patram urvi likhati yadi grihitva sharada sarvakalam tadapi tava gunanam isha param na yati. So if the sea or ocean, it becomes like a mountain ink pot of like a mountain, such a big ink pot, and Sura Taruvara Shakha, if a divine tree, that tree's branch is taken as Lekhani, as the pen, and Patram, and if the paper is Urvi or the earth, Likhati yadi grihitva Sharada Sarva Kalam. If using all these means, Sharada, Saraswati herself, is going to write for an eternity, Sarva Kalam, Tadapi Tava Gunanam Isha Param na Yati. Even then, there is no end, Param, there is no end for your qualities, na Yati. One cannot find an end of your qualities. That is the idea. So we find here in this second shloka of the third Paddhati, or the 32nd shloka of Paduka Sahasram, we find a parallel with this shloka from the Shiva Mahimna Stotram. And here it is told, Sahasra Vadanaha Purushaha. So what is this? In the Purusha Sukta, we find Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha, Sahasraksho, Sahasrapat, etc. So a person who has 1000 heads, 1000 eyes, 1000 feet, etc. So Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, a person with 1000 heads. That is what is talked about the Lord in the Purusha Sukta. So when Sahasra Vadana means, it is pointing to none other than Lord. It is Lord. So space has to become paper, sea has to become ink, and Lord himself has to sing the praises of his own Paduka. None of these is going to happen. The sea will never become ink, the space will never become paper, and Lord himself will not sing the praises of his own Paduka. Sometimes we might sing praises of the shoes we wear, but that is why we are what we are, and Lord is Lord. So Lord Ranganatha, he would not speak or praise his own slippers, his own footwear. So that is why this is not going to happen. And so we get this idea that telling the glory of Padukas is impossible. It is impossible. And so one cannot talk about the Prabhava of the Padukas. It is impossible. Vedanta, according to Vedanta Deshika, Lord Ranganatha has two consorts, two wives, so to say. One is Daya Devi, another one is Paduka Devi. So Vedanta Deshika, interestingly, he imagines two wives of Lord Ranganatha. One is Daya Devi, because there is this matchless compassion, matchless mercy of Lord Vishnu, Lord Ranganatha. That is why Daya is one of the Daya Devi, as though it is compassion or mercy of Lord Ranganatha, as though that is a goddess, Devi, Daya Devi, and Paduka Devi. Lord Ranganatha carries with him all the time. He wears it, his footwear, his slippers, his shoes, Paduka. So Paduka Devi, they are also the concerts of Lord Ranganatha. And so Vedanta Deshika wants to praise or sing the praises of Daya Devi and Paduka Devi. Here he is singing the praises of Paduka Devi and he is doing it excellently well. Now in the third verse he says, Veda Upabrihana Kutuh Alina Nibaddham Vishwambhara Shruti Bhavena Maharshina Yat Vyasena Yacha Madhusudana Padarakshe Dve Chakshushi Tvad Anubhavam Avekshitum Naha. So here Vedanta Deshika is talking about how the different scriptures talk about the glory of the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha. Different scriptures talk about the glory of the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha. So he says, Madhusudana Padarakshe. Madhusudana. Madhu, name of a Rakshasa who was killed by Sri Krishna or Lord Vishnu. Madhusudana. So one who has killed Madhu, that person's Padarakshe. Padaraksha means slipper. Padaraksha means slipper. So he is addressing the Paduka. The entire Paduka Sahasram is addressed to the Paduka of Lord Ranganatha. It is not addressed to the feet of Lord Ranganatha, not to Lord Ranganatha also. It is addressed to the Paduka, the slippers of Lord Ranganatha. He says, Madhusudana Padarakshe, O the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha, Veda Upabrimhana, that which are explained in the Vedas, or that which are written for the purpose of explaining the Vedas. Veda Upabrimhana means explaining. It is written for the purpose of people who wanted to explain the Vedas. So for the sake of Upabrimhana means explaining Vedas, Kutuhalina, by people who were interested or had Kutuhala or enthusiasm or interest in explaining the meaning of the Vedas. So rightly explaining and giving right interpretation of the meaning of the Vedas. Those people who had that object in mind, that aim in mind. That who are the people? Vishwambhara. Vishwambhara. Shruti Bhavena Maharshina Yat. So the person who came out of the Shruti Bhavena, Vishwambhara. Vishwambhara means earth, Bhumi, Prithvi. So a person who came out of the Shruti, ear of earth. That means one who came out of an ant hill. So ant hills are considered to be the ears of earth. So a person who came out of ant hill, that means Valmiki. Valmiki. Shruti Bhavena Maharshina Yat, that which was Nibaddham. Nibaddham means written, which was written Nibaddham. Yat, that Nibaddham, that which was written. By whom? Vishwambhara Shruti Bhavena Maharshina. The Maharshi who Vishwambhara Shruti Bhava came out of the Shruti here means ear of Vishwambhara, of the earth. One who came out of the earth, ear of the earth. One who came out of the ear of the earth. That person. That is Valmiki. And what did he write? Ramayana. He wrote the great epic called Ramayana. And the other one is Vyasen, Yacha Vyasena. Also the other thing which was Nibaddham or written by Vyasa. So what did Vyasa write? Mahabharata. So here these are all Itihasa. So the Vedas are explained or interpreted by Itihasa and Puranas. Itihasa Puranabhyam Veda Vedam Sam Upambrahmayet. Upabrahmayet. Vedas. The Vedas are interpreted, explained by the Itihasas and Puranas. So here two Itihasas, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana was written by the person who was born from or who came out from the ear of the earth. Ear of earth. That is Valmiki. And Vyasa also wrote Vyasena Yacha. He also wrote. What did he write? He wrote the Mahabharata. He wrote the Mahabharata. So both Valmiki and Vyasa, they wrote these things for the Kutuhala, because they were enthusiastic, they were interested in Veda Upabrahmana. They were interested in the elucidation or explanation, interpretation of the Vedas. So they wrote these texts they wrote. And they wrote this, and what do they do? These two texts, Dve Tvad Anubhavam Chak Avekshitum Naha Chakshushi. So these two texts, these two texts, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are like Tvad Anubhavam. They are what? They are Tvad Anubhavam Avekshitum. That is for seeing, Avekshitum, seeing Tvad Anubhavam, your Anubhavam, glory. So these two texts, they are like two eyes. Chakshushi. They are like two eyes for seeing your glories. So Vedanta Deshika is addressing the Padukas. He is saying, "O Padukas, these two texts, that is Ramayana and Mahabharata, they act like two eyes for seeing your glory. And it is for explaining your glory that Valmiki and Vyasa, they have written this text." How? Because they are explaining Vedas. If they explain Vedas, they are also explaining your glory. Why? Because Vedas explain the glory of the Lord. Vedas explain the glory of the Lord. And so these Vedas that are explained by Ramayana and Mahabharata, obviously Ramayana and Mahabharata will also explain the glory of the Lord. And so you carry the Lord, you carry the feet of the Lord. So if the glory of Lord is explained, then automatically you are explained. But having said that, In the Ramayana, Paduka's glory is directly explained. The Paduka's glory is directly explained. And so Ramayana, it is directly explained. Mahabharata, it is directly and indirectly explained. So that is why everybody comes to know about the glory of the Padukas. And so it means these Ramayana and Mahabharata, these two itihasas or epics, they act as two eyes to clearly see the glory of the Padukas. They clearly show us the glory of Padukas. Then Shankaracharya then Vedanta Deshikan says, Pratyakshayanti parishuddha dhiyo yathavat Ramayane Raghu Purandara Padarakshe Shashvat Prapanchitam idam parayaiva vritya Sankshepa Vistara Dashasu Tavanubhavam. What does he say here? He says, Raghu Purandara Padarakshe. Raghu Purandara Padarakshe. So Raghu Purandara means Sri Rama, Raghunatha, Raghu Purandara. Padarakshe means Paduka. So Paduka or the slipper or footwear of Raghunatha, Rama, Sri Ramachandra, Raghu Purandara Padarakshe. Parishuddha Diyo. So he is addressing the Paduka as he does throughout the Paduka Sahasram. He says Parishuddha Diyo. Parishuddha means pure, extremely pure, refined, pure. Dhiyo, intellect. So those who have pure intellect, refined intellect, Parishuddha Dhiyaha. Those who have refined intellect. How do they have refined intellect? Because of their good works. Because of their good works and also because of their spiritual practices, spiritual austerities. They have pure intellect. Shuddha Dhiyaha. Shuddha Dhiyaha, what do they do? Ramayane Sankshepa Vistara Dashasu. What they do in Ramayana? In Ramayana, Sankshepa Vistara Dashasu. Sometimes shortly, in short, and sometimes elaborately, sometimes in detail. So sometimes in short, Sankshepa, sometimes in detail, Vistara, Dashasu. So when sometimes in detail, when it is short, Sankshepa Dasasu, sometimes when it is Vistara Dashasu, that means when it is in detail. What happens? Shashvat idam parayaiva vritya. So it is sometimes talked about Sankshepa in short, sometimes in detail, but continuously. Shashvat, continuously, or continuously it is talked of. And idam parayaiva means sometimes this thing is dealt with, sometimes that thing is dealt with. Idam parayaiva means they are always focused on the Padukas. They're always focused on the glory of the Padukas or your true greatness. Your true greatness. That is the Paduka's true greatness. So Vritya. So what they do? Through Vritti, through the verses, Vritya, they Prapanchitam, they explain Prapanchitam. What do they explain? Tava Anubhavam, your great your glory, your glory. And so, because it is prapanchitam, it is explained, your glory is explained. So what happens? Yathavat pratyakshayanti. For them it is pratyaksha. For the parishuddha dhyaha, those who have a pure intellect, for them your true glory is pratyaksha. It is direct. They can see your true glory. Why can they see your true glory? Because they have pure intellect, because they have given up or they have transcended the attachments of this world, so they can realize your true glory. How they can realize your true glory? Pratyakshayanti. They can see it face to face. They can see it directly. Just like in the Ramayana, in some places in detail and in some places in short, your glory has been explained. Similarly, though it is some places in short and some places in detail, your glory is continuously explained in the Ramayana. It is continuously explained in the Ramayana. And so, Tava Anubhavam, your glory, is explained. And so, people who have Parishuddha Dhiyaha, people who have a pure mind, what do? They understand. They not only understand, they can pratyakshayanti. They can directly see your glory. They can directly see your glory. And so that is what this Ramayana does. So the Valmiki Ramayana, the first sarga or section of Valmiki Ramayana is Balakanda. The first kanda is Balakanda, and the first section or the first sarga of Balakanda is called Sankshepa Ramayana. So in Sankshepa, in short, it explains the greatness of Paduka. Also, the Ramayana has got 24,000 verses, 48,000 lines. In those 24,000 verses, several times there are references to the Paduka and the glory of the Paduka. So, Ramayana and Mahabharata, they have been written to explain the intricate or abstruse philosophy contained in the Vedas. And now we saw that in the Ramayana, the glory of the Padukas have been written. Now here, one may question that the Ramayana and Mahabharata might talk about the Padukas, but what about the Vedas? Are Vedas talking about the Padukas? Because Ramayana and Mahabharata are Veda Upabrahmana. They are granthas or texts which have been written for explaining the Vedas. So are Vedas themselves talking about the Padukas of Lord Ranganatha? That is what is being asked in the next verse. Alpa Shrutairapi Janair Anumiyase Tvam. Alpa Shrutairapi Janair Anumiyase Tvam. Rangesha Padu Niyatam Nigamopa Gita. Saram Tadartam Upabrimhayitum Pranitam. Ramayanam Tava Mahimni Yata Pramanam. So again he addresses the Paduka of Ranganatha. He says, Rangesha Padu. Ranga Isha means Ranga means this universe. Isha means the Lord of the universe. Padu or Paduka. So the Paduka of the Lord of the universe. Paduka of the Lord of the universe. Tvam, you. Alpashrutairapi Janaihi Nigama Upagita Anumiyase. Tvam, you. Alpashrutaihi api Janaihi. People who have only read little, alpashrutaihi api. People who understand the Vedas very little, who don't properly understand the Vedas, who have not read the Vedas completely, even them, what do? They nigama upagita anumiyase. They see nigama upagita. They see that upagita, it has been sung by nigama. Nigama means Vedas. So they have been sung by Vedas. What has been sung by Vedas? The glory of the Padukas have been sung by the Vedas. So your glory has been sung by the Vedas. Anumiya say, they infer. So even people who are not well read, who are not aware of the content of the Vedas, even they, what do? Alpashrutaihi api. And even though they have not read the Vedas completely, what do? Or properly, what do? They nigama upagita. They, through the Vedas, they anumiyase, they infer that the Vedas have sung about you. Tvam nigama upagita. You have been sung about in the Upagita, sung about in the Nigama, in the Vedas. That is what the Alpashrutaihi Janaihi, people who are not well read in the scriptures, people who are ill read, means they have not read properly, they have only read a little, they anumiyase, they infer that you have been praised in the Nigama, in the Vedas. And so you have been praised, all right. And so, yataha saram, how have you been praised? How can they come to this conclusion that you have been praised? Yataha, because saram tadartham upabrihayutum pranitam Ramayanam tava mahimni pramanam. Because Ramayana, which has been written, which has been given by Valmiki, presented by Valmiki. For what? Ramayanam has been pranitam by Valmiki for the purpose of saram tadartha upabrimhayitum, for the purpose of explaining the Vedas. And who says that? That Valmiki himself says that. Valmiki himself says that Ramayana is written for the purpose of explaining Vedic wisdom. Vedas are explained there. So saram tadartham upabrimhayitum pranitam Ramayanam. So Ramayanam is given or told for the sake of tadartham upabrimhayitum, for the sake of explaining the Vedas, for the sake of explaining the meaning of the Vedas, elucidating the meaning of the Vedas. And if that is the case, then tava mahimni pramanam. If that is the case, then definitely the Vedas talk about your glory. Tava mahimni, your glory. Definitely Vedas talk about your glory. The logic is like that. If Vedas have been explained by Ramayana, then definitely in Ramayana we see that the Paduka is praised. The Paduka is praised. And if we see that Ramayana is just a text which is written, which has been written to explain the Vedas, then how can Ramayana have something which is not there in the Vedas? Suppose somebody is writing a commentary on some other text. Can that person write a commentary of something which is not there, or commentary on something which is not there in the original text? No, they cannot. If they want to write a commentary, for instance, of Kena Upanishad, then the commentary should contain only those things which are actually present in the Kena Upanishad. So similarly, this is the logic of Vedanta Deshika. He says that, you see, Ramayana was written and Mahabharata was written by Valmiki and Vyasa. Valmiki wrote Ramayana, Vyasa wrote Mahabharata for the purpose of explaining the Vedas. And if in Ramayana there is Paduka Prabhava, that is the glory of Paduka, that means it goes without saying that in the Vedas also, for which Ramayana is an explanation, Vedas also will contain what? Will contain the glories of Paduka. So how do you understand that? Anumiyase, we infer that. We infer that, because for that not much, even alpa shrutairapi, even people who have not studied much can infer, they can understand. So similarly, we might not have studied much, but we infer this much, that if Ramayana has been written to explain the Vedas, and in the Ramayana there are several mentions of the praise of the Padukas, then definitely the Vedas also have praise of the Padukas. So that is the thing. So the Paduka Mahima, or the praise of Padukas, are present in the Vedas. So this Anumana, as we know, is one of the, or the second of the 6 means of valid knowledge. 6 means of valued knowledge. So that Anumana we are using here, Anumiyase, we are using that. Why? To understand, to infer that there are references to the Paduka in the Vedas. So for that, the question is this: is Ramayana a Veda Upabrahmana? That means in Ramayana, is there any explanation of the Vedas? Upabrahmana means explanation, elaboration. Is there any elaboration of the Vedas in the Ramayana? If your answer is yes, then Ramayana tells us, we know for a fact that Ramayana tells us the glory of Paduka. Why would it tell that if there is no glory of Paduka written in the Vedas? So that means there is a glory of Paduka in the Vedas, which we might not be aware of. It is there. Because if it were not there, why would the Ramayana talk about Padukas? So it is definitely there. Only thing is, we might not know about it. Otherwise, it becomes illogical that Valmiki's Ramayana, which has got so much space for the praising of the Padukas, that if it is an illustration, or if it is an elucidation or commentary on the Vedas, definitely Vedas also have lot of glory. The texts which talk about the glory of the Padukas. So the Paduka Sahasranam is a text which prays to Lord Ranganatha's Padukas and prays that we all get spiritual realization. And this also is a lesson in humility, that we are not praying or we are not discussing about the feet of Lord Ranganatha, but that which carries his feet, that is the Paduka. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Has anyone any questions? Is there any question anybody has? Smriti?
Excuse me, Swamiji. Like Lalita Sahasranam and Vishnu Sahasranam, you are telling about Sri Ranganathan means Vishnu Avataring, I think so. So, is there any Sahasranam like that to chant and all? Because you are telling about Ramayana and Mahabharata, both the scriptures, as a Panchama Veda, I think so. So, is there any chanting like Paduka Sahasranama?
No, we are seeing Paduka Sahasram, which is a collection of 1,000 shlokas on the Padukas. There is no Paduka Sahasra Namam, as far as I know. Any other question? Smriti, then can we stop then?
Yes, Swamiji.
Okay. The text of Paduka Sahasram is available on the internet also. Various places, open text is available, means you don't need to pay anything. Open source text is free, text is available of the Paduka Sahasram. You can avail that text, those texts. Many places it is available. Okay, then.
Namo Narayana, just wanted to ask if the recording of the sessions will be posted on the group.
Yeah, it will be posted on the group as well as on YouTube. And so we will be sharing the playlist, because as I have told, some shlokas have been already covered. So we will be sharing that in the playlist. The playlist we will be sharing in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Then you can, people who have not listened, you can listen from the beginning. And also these things will be there.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question anyone has?
Are the books available on Amazon? Do you know?
No, unfortunately, there is a text, Sri Paduka Sahasram of Sri Vedanta Deshika. This is the text. It is written by it is published in 2 volumes, published by the Kuppuswamy Shastri Research Institute, Chennai. But this text, one has to contact them. They have the website. One has to contact them and get. There is a listing in Amazon, but unfortunately it shows out of stock. Apart from that, there are other various texts of Paduka Sahasram on the internet. If you just search, you will get.
Okay. Namo Narayana. Thank you.
This one itself is Namo Narayana Guruji. This one itself is also available on the internet free of charge. I just uploaded it.
What is your name?
My name is Nirmal Gupta.
Okay.
I'm in the US. I downloaded it today. It is also available. The same book you just showed, the same cover in English, is available on the internet free of charge for anyone who wants it.
Okay, so I think it is not legal because
No. No, it is legal because I just said Paduka Sastram, and it was the first link which came up. And then I just clicked on it and it came up.
yeah, that is possible because many things are available, no copyrighted
Right.
things are available, but it might not be legal because the copyright lies with Kuppaswamy Shastri Research Institute and they are still
Oh,
selling it.
Okay.
Anyway, if one can lay your hands on the copy of the book, all right, but strictly speaking,
Because
it
I was
will-
reading along with you and it has a good explanation. I really liked the book. That's why I was sharing it with everyone.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Is there any PDF of that, ma'am?
what?
Is there any PDF of that book? Paduka Sastram?
Yeah, we will share a PDF of this book in the WhatsApp group. We will share a PDF so you can see. Okay. Is there any other question anyone has?
The previously covered recordings you're going to post on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Thank you. Namo Narayana.
Namo Narayana. Okay, so we will meet again next Tuesday. Okay. Namaste.